Hey guys, this is part of a series of videos that describe how I use Anki in med school. If you're new to Anki, I made an intro walkthrough that can get you up to speed. In this video, I'm going to tackle using images in cards effectively. One of Anki's strengths is that it allows you to incorporate images directly into card content. A large portion of my cards include images because I'm a visual learner and I find it much easier to recall a picture than a line of text. From the card edit screen, there are several ways to add an image. If the image file is readily available, you can simply copy and paste it into one of the fields. You can also drag the file into the appropriate field. If your image is in a PowerPoint presentation or a Word document, you can also copy and paste it into Anki directly. In all of these situations, I find JPEGs work well, though you may have some trouble with other file types. While copying and pasting works fine, I actually find it much easier to use a screenshot tool to get the exact image content I need. This step saves time for a couple reasons. First, by using a screenshot tool, you can guarantee that all your images are in the correct file type, because all the screenshots are saved in the same manner. For example, on my computer, all screenshots are saved as JPEGs. This eliminates the occasional hiccup caused by a weird image file, especially when your images are coming from a PowerPoint presentation. Secondly, it's not uncommon for images to require some tweaking to best capture the content for a specific card. For example, you may only want to include part of an image, or include labels that were placed over an image in PowerPoint. And finally, when you copy and paste an image, you can't control the size of the image in Anki. This occasionally causes images to appear enormous or very small depending on the quality of the image. When pasting screenshots, however, the image will appear exactly the same size as it was when you took the screenshot. Both Macs and Windows come with screenshot tools, but there are many others available for free if you want something else. I use a small program called Lightscreen for Windows, which has worked really well for me. Whatever program you use, it should include a few basic features. First, you should be able to assign a key, such as print screen, to capture just a portion of the screen. You really shouldn't be capturing the entire screen and cropping it down to the size you want. Next, you should be able to determine the file type of the screenshot images, in this case JPEGs. Finally, you're going to want a program that immediately puts the screenshot on your clipboard without any extra steps, so you can quickly paste it into Anki. After doing 200 or 300 images, you'll really begin to appreciate these time-saving features. Let's start out with an image from a PDF. If you want to use the image as is in Anki, simply zoom to the desired level and screenshot the image. Next, simply paste it into Anki and you're all set. Often, however, you may wish to make small modifications before inserting the image into Anki. While there are many editing programs out there, I've come up with a fast method that works well for me. First, expand the image to nearly full screen to retain as much of the quality as possible. Take a screenshot like before and paste it into a blank PowerPoint slide. If the image was in a PowerPoint presentation to begin with, I often just leave it in its original file. No need to copy it into a new presentation. From here, there are several editing options. If you need to remove parts of the image, simply add a rectangle and change its color and border to white. When it looks right, you can make that the default shape, so all future rectangles for that PowerPoint appear the same. You can also just copy and paste the shape to make more quickly. I actually find that when labels on images aren't lined up in a straight line, ovals can actually do a cleaner job of covering the text because rectangle corners can sometimes protrude into the actual image. Another trick I use sometimes when I only need a quick white rectangle is to simply take a screenshot of some white space around the image and paste it over the area. It all comes down to speed, so use whatever works best for you. For images that require identifying a structure, I also tend to add an arrow or a colored circle to identify the specific structure. Just as before, it's easy to set the default shape so all future arrows appear the same. Once everything looks good, zoom in to the desired level as before and take a final screenshot of the completed image and paste it into Anki. When you find yourself copying images into blank slides often, you can save time by creating a simple toolbox for yourself. Start with a blank slide and add in a bunch of white rectangles or ovals on one side. You can also add in arrows, labels, or other shapes that you use often as well. Next, duplicate that slide 50 or 100 times. Now, whenever you need to edit a new image, just move to the next blank slide and you'll already have all the shapes you need available. Images are helpful for a couple types of information. Probably most often, images are used to indicate structures which should be identified. As I've mentioned previously, I prefer using closed deletion style cards in Anki. For cards which involve identifying structures, I put the structure name and its hint at the top of the card, with the image directly below it. If necessary, I'll add any context into the extra field. When it's finished, the card looks like this. I should also mention that there is an Anki extension called image occlusion, which some people use to process the same types of cards. I personally prefer the screenshot method, but it may be worth looking into. Now that we have card making down, there's a couple other things to note. The first thing to be aware of is that anytime you paste an image into Anki, a copy of that image is stored in a folder in the location where your deck is saved. This makes it easy to back up your collection's media or move it to another computer because everything is in one place. On Windows, the default location is in My Documents, Anki, your username, collections.media. In Anki, you can copy images from one card to another because Anki already knows where the image is located. However, if you try to copy an image from a card to an external program, you'll run into some problems. For this reason, if you need to access one of your images, you'll have to search for it in the collections.media folder to find the copy stored in Anki. On a related note, you can remove any stored images which are no longer used by any cards in your deck by going to Tools, Check Media. This option will scan your image folder for any unlinked images and generate a short report. If you select Delete Unused, Anki will move them to your operating system's trash folder. With that, you should have everything you need to start using images in Anki.